A Green Spark. Chapter 5. Hey, brother, come here! You can hear your little brother running around upstairs and laughing. 1 second, Jake, I need to help Dad with your gifts. You smile and run up the stairs after handing your father the wrapping paper. Where are you at, bud? You say, smiling and looking around your room, which you swore he ran into. You could hear giggling, which made you smile. Gotcha, he says as he pounces on you, his demon form showing as he was flying above the doorway. You laugh as you both fall to the ground, happy, before everything went downhill, when he got the worst friend group imaginable. He was kind. He acted good. I groan as I finish up my chores, helping Carl with his. I think I deserve my $5 back for helping you. He laughs and pushes me softly. Oh, come on, please, we can get ice cream. We both laugh as he sets down the broom. If we're both gonna waste it on ice cream, why does it matter? I said, smiling. It decides who gets to keep the change. And if you're paying, I get something more. Hey, I say, laughing a little as I grab the broom and head back upstairs to the closet. I smile as we walk, both of us stopping to look at some fursuits we got for one Halloween. They were just a simple wolf and fox. You know, we could go undercover, he says, snickering softly. I nod, agreeing with him for my own reasons. I was afraid if we did go and apologize, she'd kill us on the spot. Well, she's not stupid, so I don't think a cartoon-level disguise would do it, I say, looking at the window towards the park. Come on, we can try! I roll my eyes at him, smiling softly as I grab them off the hooks. People are gonna think we're weird, I mumble, looking out the window. My thoughts swirled in my head. I glanced back at Carl as he grabbed his and walked off to the bathroom to get changed. I sighed and mumbled to myself, thinking out loud. Why didn't she kill us? Kill me? Why didn't she use more of her powers? Why didn't she fight back in general? I groan and look at the costume in my hands. I guess we could try and find out. Find out what? Carl says, walking back into the room. He was holding the costume head under his arm. I turn and just stare at him for a second before snickering and shaking my head. Hey, what are you laughing at? He says, walking towards me, which just makes me laugh more. I'm laughing at an angry little fox, I say, poking his nose. A cute, angry little fox. Get it right. I laugh even more as his face turns red. I lean against the wall as he starts laughing as well. Boys, what are you doing up there? Evelyn calls from her room. Nothing, Mom, sorry, I say, realizing we probably interrupted her paperwork. Come on, we don't want to miss the party, do we? I say to Carl, wiping the happy tears from my eyes. He nods as we start heading out. We put the costume heads on before we got there to make sure no one else knows it's us. Do we want to try and play with the other kids, or just sit here? Carl said, walking up to a bench. I shrug and sit down, looking through the mask at all the kids playing. Emma and Star seemed to be having a blast. One kid was playing tag with the others and went to take Emma, but stopped before they reached her. They just stared at her. Once she noticed, she backed up a bit, showing them she didn't mean to do anything if she did. They shook their head. He yelled tag, tapped her shoulder, and ran off. I laughed softly, which got me a confused look from Carl. Don't worry about it, Shrimp, I said, smiling at him. I just think it's funny that they're still a little scared of her. I mean, she showed them she didn't want to hurt anyone but us. Because we attacked her sister, he mumbled softly. I flinched but acted like I didn't hear what he said. We sat and talked with each other for a bit until it seemed Emma was done with being bombarded by questions about her demon form. I don't think we're going to get a chance today, Carl mumbles. His voice was cut short by Emma walking over to us, smiling softly. It was a kind smile as she paused in front of us. Sorry for all these crazy people filling up the park. She paused and rubbed the back of her neck. Both Carl and I just sat there, frozen for a minute, realizing just what we were getting ourselves into. Can I sit here? I just quickly moved to the side, Carl following and moving to the other side, and now this person who I almost killed is sitting between us. I felt a jolt of anger flow through me, a pain thought coming with it. I could kill her right now. It'd be easy. Well, I'm Emma, she said after a little bit of silence between us. And you two? I felt my breath hitch in my throat, even more fear coming with it. You can call us Wolf and Fox, I say quickly, trying to ignore the fear. Alrighty then. So, what were you two up to before all this happened? I looked at Carl, trying to hide my shaking hands by resting them gently on my legs. Just playing, I mumbled, trying to shorten the responses. I couldn't chance her knowing it was us. I can go if you don't want me here. I flinched, feeling bad for the sadness in her voice. Of course, I came off uninterested, but I guess I didn't mind her here. It'd be odd to ask her all the questions now, though. We don't mind, Carl said with a warm tone to his voice. We should be trying to make new friends anyway. I sighed, knowing he was right, but at least he couldn't see the offended glare I gave him. Me too, Emma said, laughing softly. I was about to say something, maybe ask the smallest of questions, but another kid quickly came running up to Emma. I glanced up, glaring up at Star as she was the one who came over. Emma, come here. We're all going to start playing some games. You should join. Oh, she looks over at us after standing up. Will you two be around another day? Maybe tomorrow, I say quickly, excited to finally go somewhere with this. Tomorrow it would be easier. Then we can meet up again, starting to make new friends with each other. I felt a pain in my chest as I nodded. She was so kind, so caring, and here I was still thinking about how easy it would be to kill her, especially if she just came to meet us tomorrow. Come on, Emma, Star says, pulling her along. I looked up at her as she smiled at us. See you two then. God, that was terrible, Carl said, standing up politely and waving at Emma as she walked off. I know, but tomorrow is another day. We'll ask about more things then, but for now, we need to get home and get out of these. I am sweating so bad. I groan and take off my mask halfway to breathe better. He laughs as we start walking home. How'd things go, boys? Carl's mom says as we walk in the door. She was cooking dinner and stopped and stared at us. You guys went in disguise? She sighs, watching our faces turn red. As long as it worked. Now, did you guys apologize? We both looked down. We didn't talk much, but we're meeting back up again tomorrow, I say, setting my helmet down on the table. She sighs and goes back into the kitchen. You're lucky. Tomorrow's supposed to be colder, but you guys better take a shower before bed. I'll put those in the wash for you. Carl, could you help me set the table? Clinton, put those in the laundry basket for me. I nod as Carl hands me his costume. I smile softly, walking down the hall. After dropping the costumes, I walked back over to the dining room where they had sat down waiting for me. So, what's this? I say, sitting down and poking my food with my fork, confused. Sloppy Joes. And don't worry, it's supposed to be messy, so if you get any on your shirt, don't feel bad, Evelyn says, walking into the kitchen from the living room. She grabs her sandwich and takes a bite. Almost half of its contents fell out. And this is why I got Carl to get us forks. We all laugh as we start eating. I may have been here for a year now, but she always finds something new to make us. I groan, getting out of the bath and getting into my PJs. I comb up my hair and look at myself in the mirror. I look at the dark red shirt and sigh. I need to get some better clothes. No more black shirts. Something more colorful and something that doesn't look like I dyed it in blood. I mumbled to myself before walking out of the bedroom and crawling into bed. I looked up at my roof, ignoring the off feeling in my gut as I go to sleep. Clinton, wake up, Carl says, pushing on my side. I groan and roll over before shooting out of bed. There you go, you remembered! I shake my head of dizziness and push Carl out of the room to get dressed. Go make sure the suits are ready, I yell, rummaging through my clothes for something to wear. I stop and look at this colorful striped shirt and shrug while putting it on, as well as some light jeans. Clinton, we have a problem, Carl yells from downstairs. I grab our masks and run downstairs. He holds up a pretty wetsuit. We forgot to put them in the dryer. And do it now then. We still need to eat breakfast, I say, smiling and handing him his mask. Okay, I'll meet you in the kitchen. Do we have any leftovers? He says, grabbing the clothes from the washer and putting them in the dryer. No, I'm pretty sure my mom took all the leftovers home. Are you okay with a peanut butter and jelly? I ask as he walks into the kitchen. Yeah, sounds good to me, he says, sitting down as I make the sandwiches. We sit there eating breakfast for a little while as the dryer finishes. Once we hear the buzz of the timer, we jump up and grab our suits. Do you think she's already there? He says, struggling to put on his suit over his jacket. I roll my eyes, pushing down his jacket and zipping up his suit. I meet his eyes afterward and stare for a second awkwardly. Yeah, so let's go already, I say, huffing softly and putting on my suit. He smiles and grabs his mask off the table as we start walking out of the door towards the park. We started running as we could see her from across the field. Come on, you dummy, run faster, I say to Carl as he hops along behind me. I can't, he yells. I have a wedgie. I burst out in laughter as I kept running. Fix it later! Put on your mask! I yell back, laughing more as I trip, but catch myself as I keep running. He laughs at me as we approach the park, just barely slowing down. He puts on his mask as we run up to where Emma is on the swings. Hey! I choke out, still out of breath from laughing while running. We must have spooked her as she jumped off the swing, drawing something out of her pocket. I could feel myself start to shake as I noticed it was Carl's carving knife, the first one we had lost. I didn't realize she took it in that first fight. Carl runs up beside me, scared, his emotions torn as he realizes it's his knife. Emma? He says softly. My cheerful demeanor changed as I realized when no one was around she really was just a killing machine. My thoughts were cut short as I see her face change into one of panic and fear of its own. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. She quickly looks between us and the knife before shoving it back into her pocket. I didn't mean to, I was just scared. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. I bite down on my tongue and stand just a little in front of Carl. Why did you do that? I mutter, stretching my arm out in front of Carl. I was bullied a lot. I know that's no excuse to just pull a knife out on you two, but I got scared. I thought I heard one of my bullies, and I acted. I'm so sorry. I looked unsatisfied at her. She was rambling and crying like a child. I flinched as Carl gently put his hand on my arm, lowering it softly and turning towards Emma. What happened? So much, she mumbled, shoving her hands deeper into her pockets. They attacked me and my sister so many times. They were just singling out my sister to get to me. They stabbed me just 2 days ago in front of the whole school. All of that chaos with those students yesterday was to congratulate me on being alive. Was this a mockery? An unknowing mockery of her attempt? So many times, huh? Why do you seem so sad about it? I couldn't hide the snarkiness in my voice. How her being alive was an insult to my attempt to kill her. All I can think about is my bullies and how they're doing. That's weird, Carl says, verbalizing my thoughts as I stand there dumbfounded. Yeah, why do you care about someone who almost killed you? It wasn't the way I wanted to ask, but there was one question off my list. Because I don't think they're just bad people. There was something he said, a slip in his words that made me wonder why he was doing this all over again. It all starts to make sense if I think about it. I grit my teeth. Damn it, what the hell did I spill to her in that fight? What is she able to use against me? What did he say? Carl said softly, glancing up at me before returning his gaze towards Emma. Something about... She paused and I felt my fists get tight at my sides. Oh, jeez. What was so hard? What did I say, damn it? Why can't you just repeat it? Okay, so please don't freak out. Please don't hate me. I'm not what they say I'm like. All I want to do is protect my sister. I'm good. I can promise all that I want to be is good, but... Well, I said, uncaring to whatever she was going to ramble about. I wanted to know what new weapon she had against me. I'm a demon, and my bully said something about another demon when he was attacking me, so I want to know if there was someone out there who had hurt him. Obviously, if there was, there'd be a reason behind attacking me, taking it all out on me, hurting me the way he did. And not just another bully who hates me in general. Why are you going through all this for people who almost killed you? Carl said, tilting his head slightly. I grit my teeth. She wasn't going through anything. She was just collecting facts, collecting new information to use against me, to kill me once she had the chance. Because I don't want to ruin their lives suing them. I don't want to ruin anybody's life again. I just want to protect my sister. I just want to show that not all demons can be bad. But here I am, again and again, having to use my magic to protect me and my sister from people who want us dead. I flinch as she turns into her demon form, my thoughts overcome with conflict as her words seem so true. Why would she be saying any of this if it wasn't? She didn't know it was us. She just wanted to explain it to someone. I just wanted to protect her. Oh man, Carl mumbled, taking a soft step towards her. Well, I think it's nice that you seem to care. He looked over his shoulder at me. He could see just as well as I could that we made a mistake. I feel my body stiffen as he puts his arms out for a hug, trying to comfort. her. She accepted this hug, then looked at me with such pain in her eyes as I stood there. I looked at the ground, away from those sad eyes and pinching the bridge of my nose through my mask, sighing as I turned my head back up. Then my thoughts returned to something she said, something reassuring to hear as much as my whole being couldn't begin to believe it. Not all demons can be bad, huh? I mumbled, looking at her, wanting to believe her. It was my dad's goal, too. He was killed by a bad demon. Well, that's one thing we have in common, I guess. Damn it, I would be just as bad as my brother now. I hope you can convince him to stop. You seem nice, I mumbled, giving up on the anger I could no longer hold against her. I'm sorry, Carl said softly, still hugging her. I felt a chill run up my spine as I saw Emma's demeanor change. Her eyes flicker black and her body stiffened slightly. I watched as she slowly pushed Carl away. There was such gentleness with it, but she looked horrified as she looked between us. Emma, I mumbled, taking a step towards her, wanting to apologize as well. My words caught in my throat as she drew the knife again, pointing it at us. What the fuck? She said, the last word barely reaching my ears, like swearing was so foreign to her that it was hard to say a single word. I sighed, realizing she knew now who we were. Everything on her face said it. I take off the head of my costume, sighing as I set it to the side. Being in disguise now would only pose more of a threat to her. She seemed to bite her tongue, her jaw tight before she spoke. You're tricking me. I felt my heart pulse with guilt as she looked at us. You tried to kill me! This was an attempt to finish the job, wasn't it? I closed my eyes, guilt overcoming me. Not anymore. I knew that wasn't enough for her. Then it was just an attempt to learn more, just like you. But I understand now. I walked closer, slowly, softly. I didn't want her to fear me. I didn't want to fear her. I saw the blade in front of me and sighed as I gently pushed her hands down. Emma. I gently placed my hand on her shoulder, wanting to hug her as Carl did. That seemed to help, but I'm sure I'd get stabbed. I am so sorry. Tell me why, she said quickly, her voice cracking with tears in her eyes. Please, tell me why. I felt her hands gripping the knife tightly, her knuckles turning white. I deserve to know, damn it! I deserve to know why you almost murdered me and my sister. I could see her jaw go tight again after she spoke, out of words to scream for the moment. I sighed and clicked the knife back into the multi-tool. My brother was one. I watched as her expression faded to guilt. He almost killed me and did kill my father. It was almost soothing to see the empathy in her eyes. Emma, I am so sorry. I know that doesn't mean anything compared to all of what I did to you. And Friday was a low, but that's no excuse for what I did. There was a silence as my words circled in my head. There was nothing I could do to repay her. If you need me to leave forever, run away. No, she said quickly, almost causing me to jump. Don't, please. I don't want you going through that. I looked at her, almost confused. How would she know? All I ask is that you try and change the minds in the school about what happened. I nodded quickly. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. And stay the hell away from Star. I flinched, taking a step back as her voice booms. I nodded a little slower. It pained me a little. It was one less friend I'd ever end up making. But that's okay. At least until we're both better from this. I know it's not much to offer, but Carl opens his arms again. Can this be a start? Yeah, kiddo. Just then, Carl flinched as Star came running towards us. Emma? She yelled. She must have thought we heard her. I quickly backed away from her, putting my hands up slightly. Carl does the same, walking back over to me. What's going on? Well, they were Wolf and Fox, she said, pausing and looking between us. I take a few more steps back as Star comes closer, respecting Emma's wish to be farther from Star. And we're good now. How? I smile. Star's shocked expression is almost laughable. Long story, Emma says with an almost proud smile. But I do have one question. I paused, looking back at Emma, understanding it would be directed towards me. What happened? I rubbed the back of my neck awkwardly, but right now is not the moment to stay silent. I was taken for a psych evaluation. They upped my meds and harsher therapy schedules, but that was it. Oh, and out of school suspension for 2 weeks, since Carl's mom begged them to keep me in school. Carl just got the week suspension. That doesn't seem... I cringe as Star starts speaking, quickly getting jabbed by Emma as she smiles. Okay, Emma says softly. Well, I guess I'll see you two around then? I guess so, I mumble, nodding softly as a way of ending the conversation. I really think she's not like them, Carl says softly. I nodded and sighed. Yeah, so do I. I felt so guilty as I spoke, but I smiled, shaking my head and grabbing Carl's hand. Come on, let's head home to get those chores done sooner. Carl continued to hold my hand even after we'd calmed down. We continued to walk home. We were halfway there before I realized we were still holding hands. Carl? I mumble softly. Yeah? He meets my gaze and we both look at our hands. He panics and takes his hand away from me, jumping away slightly. I laugh and roll my eyes, stretching out my hand. Thank God, it was starting to get all sweaty. He smiles and shakes his head.